Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time to have a live stream. But first, as always, a little music. Good evening, Toffee. Enjoy. Evening, Anglo-Saxon.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Hello, folks. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all cozy and comfy. Good evening, Toffee, Anglo-Saxon, Carol, Doberman, Treble M. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I had a bit of a upset tummy at the weekend. Nothing really to complain about, but it threw my would-be plans off. I'd hoped to get some things accomplished, but it never happened. Perhaps I'll make progress. And don't forget, folks, Friday night shall see the arrival of Scott's Armour for a interesting, as always, conversation. A very interesting and highly illuminated individual. Uh, Spoke to your pal John, says Doberman. He's found the Lord. He's wearing sackcloths and self-flagellating himself with sackcloth underpants. He sends his regards. You didn't tell me who it is, though. Sackcloth. Yeah, well, it used to be something that was popular at one time. Probably still is popular in certain places with certain individuals, but not I. Not I. That's one of the many things that I've always enjoyed about traveling anywhere is visiting places of worship. I enjoy that immensely. Bit disappointed when I got to York Cathedral. Like scaffolding around that at the time, so I was quite disappointed by that. I thought York was a really interesting place to be. Big open air market, book market. If you've never been there, or at least they used to have. Who knows what they have now? But they used to have. And, we found a very interesting. Uh, I'd call it a model shop rather than a toy shop. Slightly off the beaten track, but not too much. It was the big attraction to this particular shop was the fact that it sold construction kits for dolls' houses. Now, when I say dolls' houses, I mean, highly detailed period houses. And maybe stand about 4 or 5, perhaps even 6 foot from the floor. Not really so much of a toy, but more of a model to be constructed and then to be filled with suitable models, not just models of human beings, but models of furniture and what have you. Very, very impressive, this place. Oh, so you were on Raz's stream, Toffee, were you? Getting wound up, according to Anglo. Well, what you find, if you have enough adversarial conversations with people, Toffee, is what you find is it never gets you anywhere. You never change anyone's opinion on anything. Oh, you weren't on the stream. All right, beg your pardon. I've picked that up wrong. Good evening, William. Scouser with Glasgow jeans. A match made in heaven. uh, Anglo. Don't know this person at all. I gave them both barrels, says Anglo. Call them an immigrant. Oh dear. Well, I'm sure that didn't go down well, as you said. Thank you, William. Got the email so you know the film we are watching, we are discussing. I'm really hoping we get a lot more involvement from the chat because of the film, because of that particular film. I can't imagine who hasn't seen it. There's no point in me having a topic about football. I'll take questions. How about that? Ask me a question. I'll see if I can answer it. And talking about questions, we seem to have lost ultra nationalist. The blue half of Merseyside. I take it that isn't Liverpool then. That's the other crowd, whoever they are. As far as I know, Liverpool wear red, do they not? I think they do. He's probably been lifted. I never thought of that. It's always possible. Always possible. I'm talking about lifted, getting lifted. I take it you've all Everton. That's it. That's the lot. I take it you've all heard about the Streaky's not been here for a while. The 74-year-old pensioner who got lifted for a hate crime, hate speech. Oh, right. That's interesting. That's what they're called. Everton's nickname, the Toffees, because they're sticky. Is that what it is? Yeah. Yeah, Stricky's been missing a while now. If anybody sees him elsewhere, please let me know. Good evening, Sir Thomas Lipton. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I do hope he is all right. So thanks for asking, Sir Thomas. Every time I meet my neighbour down the stairs, his son, his one and only child, his son, is the same age as my own boy. Unfortunately, his son, I met him today. I was out getting some exercise round the back of the house. And he tells me his boy has got, it's now up to 3 different forms of cancer. Well, that's good to know that, Toffee. Thanks for that information. You know what I'm like. I start to concern myself. So now he's up to 3 different types of cancer. This young lad. It's only well, as I say, he's the same age as my own son. He's got cancer in the blood. He's got it in the lung, one of his lungs. And now they've discovered it in his tummy. Doesn't look good. Does not look good, my friends. Does not look good. It's awful, Tremelin. It's awful. I mean, I really do feel for my neighbours. uh, What do you do for exercise, John? Says Errol. Good evening. Press ups, star jumps, or something else? Well, as I say, it doesn't look hopeful in my opinion, but I wouldn't say it, of course. Rollerblades. Rollerblades. I simply walk around the back of the house and we got a bit of a, I don't call it a garden, it's grass. It's got um, poles for hanging up and washing. And my neighbour down the stairs put up the wooden flooring stuff, uh, which is great. Oh, good evening to the wolf, Wolfie, 498. So I do so many laps round the grass area, and when it's nice, um, got chairs that my sister bought me a couple of years back. Sister bought me these chairs, and we sit in the sun and well, just chat really. Joan has punch ups with Celtic fans to keep fit. Hardest pensioner on Greenock. uh, but yeah, I feel for my neighbours. I do really. Um, Treble M saying my friend has been told by the doctors can't do anything for her. She is such a lovely, gentle woman. Oh God. I think that's what's going to happen down the stairs of this young man. I can't shake off the feeling. Just can't shake it off. And the thing is too that the lady of the house she's got cancer as well. This is her second time. And the man, well, he's had a triple bypass operation on the heart. So what can you say? And it's a great example too. I mean, it is really of how money can't help you. He has a fabulous pension. I know this because he's told me. He's got a fabulous monthly pension. He's been retired for a couple of good few years now. And they had everything worked out. Retire early, go for long holidays, cruise liners, all this sort of stuff because they've got the money to do it. Their only child, as I say, He's a grown man now in his 40s. And as soon as he gave up his job and all the rest of it, uh, we were locked down, and that was the end of the holiday idea. And then his wife took cancer again. Then he took this heart problem, and now it's his son. Beggars belief. I agree with Anglo here. I don't know the people you are talking about, obviously, but I agree with Anglo what he's saying. Civic nationalists are a problem. And I know that because I had that David Clues on here a couple of years back. Anglo just piss on them. Normies, Gen X, boomers deserve Sharia. Oh, I don't say that. That's really terrible, Trevor M. I really feel sorry for them. I really do. Yeah, all this money coming in, and what good is it to them? Nah, they don't have to worry about the electricity bill, but that's not the point. Toffee. Not a fan of Raz and Jack anymore. I've told them so. I can believe that. Toffee, I can believe that. I feel they've chosen YouTube subs and views over honesty. Jojo, good evening, sir. Oh, you're watching David Clues, were you? Well, as I say, I had him on the show on here a couple of years back. Good more than a couple of years now. He's a YouTuber, Treble M. He has a pretty big channel. I got him on here. And the reason I got him on here, believe it or not, was I don't know if he does this anymore, but what he was doing is he was going around the Central Belt here in Scotland, him and at least one other with a video camera, taking footage and making comments. So they came down here to a very bad part of Port Glasgow. And it's been a very bad part for a long time. And when I say it's a bad part, I mean it's almost completely empty. It's a set of tenement buildings, all connected. And they've stood there for many years. They're not new or anything. They go back, way back. And they've been left to rot, really. And he came down. with this camera crew and was criticising the place. And I thought, you're not getting away with that. This is my hometown. Well, it's Port Glasgow. It's partly my hometown. So I was upset because it was obvious that he didn't know what he was talking about. He was taking the place on face value and talking about that. Knew nothing about the background, hadn't even looked into the background or anything else. Uh, so I got in touch with him and got him to come on here, and then told him I wasn't happy with what he had said about the place. And that's about the size of it, really. I can't say I was impressed by his politics. I certainly wasn't impressed by what he said about this area where I live. Some of what he said was certainly true, and it still is certainly true. But nevertheless, he said things that I don't think he should have said. There's good advice from Treble M. No, that's right. Well, that's what he was when he came on here. But as I said, I wasn't going to let him away with saying what he said. I didn't disagree with the things that were truthful because they were truthful. But there was too much exaggeration about the other parts of it. I wasn't invited on his show, mind you, and he's never been back here. I've never invited him back. And I was quite surprised to discover a few weeks back, good few weeks back now, when he was a guest on George Galloway's show. Apparently, he's a bit of an expert on the Royals. He was on there giving his opinion about what was wrong with that lady who hadn't been seen for a bit. And there were lots of rumours and speculation about what was going on because nobody had seen her. And he was on Galloway's show as an expert on Royals. Well, Jojo, all I can say is then he certainly has changed somewhat. And we all change, of course. He's just been slagging him off tonight. I think, to be honest, I think he's more interested in subs and views. That's my own opinion for what it's worth. And it's not worth very much because I don't keep up with them or anything like that. I'm not interested in them as such. I had a novel idea before I met him that it would be really good and positive and useful for all of us if civic nationalists and ourselves could come together and form a bigger group, bury some of our differences and form a bigger group. Boy, was that a naive idea. Doberman saying the Cincinnats all wanted to play video games and pull through wee tag dogs or doggers. 10 years ago, while springing at the alt-right, now they're spewing 10-year-old talking points. It's cringe and a grift. I'll take your word for it, folks. I don't go near them. Certainly don't go near him. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed by the presentation of his political position at the time. I suppose in my own case, and I'm only talking about me now, having lived most of my life without the internet and therefore with no real contact with like minded people, uh, I'm quite happy with the like minded people that I've got now. And why would I then go chasing after other people simply to have folk around me? I'm used to not sharing my own ideas because, well, as I say, simply because there wasn't an internet. I'm sure you can all appreciate that. What's this you're saying, Toffee? They were so made up that stream when I first showed my face, got lots of views, pretty pathetic. The existence of our people is more important. Absolutely. They want to get me on just for views. Well, I'm sure you've got valid reasons for saying this, Toffee. I wouldn't doubt your word on it, because I know when you say something, you mean it. And if you're wrong, you apologise. I know that from experience. But this chasing, I mean, if we face up to this chasing the audience is pretty pathetic and short term, is it not? Anglo, it'd be a shame if you're not at Rag Stream again. We'll hold them to account, my brother, says Anglo. I can't really comment because I wasn't there. I don't know what went on. Is that right, Doberman? They're wrapped up in World War II bollocks and myths and legends. Well, you've heard my view on that one. Well, that's right, Treble M, you're absolutely correct. He hasn't been here for, oh, God knows, months and months. As you well know, what I didn't like was he would come on and advertise his own stream. Didn't like that. Thought that was not really something you should be doing. Ooh, Jemima Pillock. I am definitely falling in love with toffee. Ooh. Very good. Wolfie. Ooh. Me too, Jemima, says Anglo. Very good. Romance. Romance could be on the agenda. So I was never keen on that. I didn't like that. What's this you're saying here? I missed this one, Toffee. They told me your stream got so many views. The only reason so many people watched it was because lefties will have watched it to see what I look like. Most of the viewers will have been Antifa. All right, Toffee. Well, well, you'll know better than us. And I know you've said before that your city is sick with them. It's been months, Treble M. Months and months and months. But I noticed they used to do that before with other people as well. He would come on the live stream in the chat, advertise himself, and then leave. So, Doberman. Ah, Mr. Rodney. Ah. Well, I can understand why people come on and then go off. I do. I understand that because listening to one person doesn't always suit unless you're right in tune with the person. Well, as I've said myself many a time, I like the idea of people who come onto the channel and stay with the channel. And that tells me, or at least it allows me to speculate, that the reason why people stay is because they like and enjoy the company of the other people who are in the chat. And perhaps they might even enjoy me speaking. But I'm well aware that it's not just me that keeps people here. It's the other folk in the chat, making connections with them. That's why it's important. Good evening, Hasdak. I'm lurking. Good evening. Ah, so that's who you're talking about. Sideways. Simon Sideways. Ah. Now the light goes on. Right. I know him. Well, I know of him. I've never spoken directly to him. I've never had him on the channel here. In fact, I haven't watched his channel for a long time, to be honest. I keep meaning to ask you, Hasdak, is that a German eagle you've got as your logo? What did you have for your tea, John says, or asks Mr. Rodney Johnston. You want the answer to that, really? Oh, well, the answer to that is, and you picked the wrong night to ask me. I haven't had anything. I haven't eaten. And I shouldn't do that. It's not good for my health. But I did it. It's a very bad lifelong habit I've got. Hello, Linda. Hope you're doing all right, Linda. Should I get a Celtic cross tattoo? You should not get any tattoo, in my opinion. I got one when I was a young boy of 16, and I regretted it the minute the needle went into my arm. I've regretted it ever since. I always advise people against such body markings. Haggis and iron brew. I don't like haggis toffee. Yes, John, he's telling me, Hashtag. I took a screenshot of it from a video where they were looking at old German tunnels. Ah, I see. Very good, Toffee. Don't like it, Wolfie. Too spicy for my taste. too spicy. Ah, I've been listening on and off for about 12 months. Wow. Steve Cray brought me here. Great man, Steve. He really is. He's a really great man. He's taken a bit of a holiday to clear his thoughts. I certainly wouldn't disagree with you there, Saint Thomas Aquinas. I agree with you regarding tattoos, John. Why deface the beautiful body that was given to you by God? I certainly wouldn't argue with that. Pol Pot executed folk with tattoos and spectacles. We are informed by Doberman. I didn't know that. Never heard that before. A real strange person was he. Yeah. He had a dream. He had a dream, says Doberman. Well, he certainly did a lot of that. Treble M inflicted a lot of evil, a lot of dead people. My St. George flag tattoo, says Anglo, surrounded by the words England forever English. Got it about 30 years ago. I saw this shitstorm coming. Everybody's got different views on it, on this whole business. That's just my view on it. That's all. My grandad, believe it or not, my grandad Harrison was the same. He used to wear bandages round his wrists, both wrists, all the time, especially at work. As you, if you remember, I've told you he was a barman his working life, and he would wear his sleeves, roll his sleeves up to here, and because he had a tattoo here, a little bird of some sort, he felt the same as I did when I got it done to myself, and he would wear these bandages to cover it to them. As like, I have a German eagle and a hanker something or other tattoo. I have to cover it when I go swimming. It triggers people, and I am too old to fight back. Yeah. I recently watched a youngish YouTuber visit Cambodia. Oops, come back. And one of the killing fields jail museum. Bloody terrible what their shared faith brought them through. Awful. I'm an anti-social. No tattoos though. Good for you, Doberman. Oh, very much so, Jojo. Oh, we're definitely walking that road, without a doubt. As I say, did you hear about the 74-year-old pensioner who got taken away by the police from her house for hate speech? Anglo, I used to own an SS ceremonial dagger. I had to sell it when I was skint. Really regret it. When I was a teenager, I knew this lad who saved up, collected stuff from that era. He had a full black uniform in his wardrobe, including the boots. He gave me a hat badge and a pendant for my lapel, celebrating coming to power, made in 33. Hook cross, John, says Doberman. Yeah, the windmill of life, that's for sure. Well, you stay that way, Toffee. That's my advice to you. You probably voted for it, John. I've got a German medal from 1942, Russian front, and an eagle cap badge, says our Hasdak. I like it, Jojo. I used to wear a German army helmet on my old 1959 Lambretta TV 175. Anglo, got a cross tattooed on my chest, the left side over my heart, with my family motto, live that you may live. Mr. Rodney's asking, did I try on the uniform? No, I wasn't allowed to try it on. Besides, he was a bit taller than I was. Um, I don't know how much he paid for it all, but he didn't buy it all in, in one big uh, lumps. Bit by bit. Took him a while, he told me. Oh, that's a crazy thing, that is, Hashtag. I've only got two small tats, and that's enough for me. I've only got the one, and that's more than enough. That's one too many for me. I don't understand people who tattoo their faces, nor do I. Nor do I. I don't understand that at all. I can't see how that would appeal to women. I just don't. We've got a couple of women here tonight. Maybe they'll be able to tell us. I can believe that, Jemima. Apparently, more women receive tattoos than men these days. I can believe that. That's a favourite one, Julia. A butterfly. Good for you, William. You remain that way too. They've lost the edge. The thing is, and I think I would put myself forward as a good example of it. People change. I mean, I changed instantly, but people do change and come to regret it. And then they discover that you can't get them off. Okay, they say that they've got methods now, but I've seen these methods. They're actually worse than leaving a tattoo on, in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion on the subject. Oh, don't read it now. No, I won't. Don't worry. I won't. So many tattoos on youngish women. Yep, seen some really bad example. I say bad examples. On the ball of the leg. And, dreadful. I have no excuse. I got my only tattoo when I was 42. It's small and easily covered, but I always had it from my parents. Yeah, I can believe that too. Good for you, Tremolem. Some tats on some birds can be attractive, in my opinion. Some birds mind. David Williams, son of Larn. Good evening. Long time no see, my friend. Because it marks us out from them. That's why they had the likes of Beckham promote them to the young. There is that. There is that. The missus has tats. It's filthy, says Doberman. I've seen that photograph, Errol, of Stair. I've seen that photograph. The two of them. She's got this huge, well, she's got this swastika as well as a very full breasted lady. Why anyone would do such a thing to themselves is beyond me. I don't know if laser removal for that tattoo would be possible or even advisable. William is saying, my father regretted all his. He got the words more beer taken off his fingers when he became teetotal, I expect you mean. Wolfie is saying his missus has got a little rose on her ankle. Some cultures like the Maori from New Zealand, right, from New Zealand have face tattoos. I've seen that. Well, years ago I saw on television rugby lads. Oh, there's Budgie. But of course, in their culture, that's a common thing. It's not really a common thing in our culture. I knew, I knew a very beautiful girl years ago who had a massive homemade tattoo on her forearm. It was a tin of Evo stick. She was a glue sniffer. Uncle can tell a lot about a woman, says Doberman. Believe you, Budgie. K-pop idols are supposed to have tattoos showing they wear bandages over them when on TV. You sometimes, Toffee, you sound as though you're an old guy, as old as I am. The way you say it. If I was still a horny young man in my early 20s, I'd probably seek out women caked in tattoos. You know you're in for an enjoyable evening with those types. Oh, gosh, I haven't heard that, Linda, for long enough. Slapper is such a great word and especially suits the English variety. I haven't heard that for such a long time. Slapper. No, he did not, Mr. Rodney. He did not wear his uniform to the polling station. I saw him in it. It didn't fit, but he looked just like the real McCoy, I suppose, because it was all real McCoy stuff, as far as I know. Remember, I'm now going back to God. When am I going back to? The early '60s. That's when I'm going back to. So, good evening, Ludwig. I haven't heard that Anglo, but I've seen it. I've seen people who have had it, and it leaves a big mark. I mean, it does leave a big mark because I've got to go more than the tattoo itself, of course. Is that right, Tommy? Colette turns up with a bird with swastika tattoos right on the eve of Brexit. Definitely nothing suspicious to see here. But I've seen that photograph. I couldn't believe my eyes, to be honest. I just think that's crazy. Tattoos in the face. Mike Tyson's about the only person I've seen look okay with a face tattoo, says Ludwig. Well, that's very true. What Wolfie's saying there. Only nut jobs had face tattoos years ago. It's true. I remember that. Yeah, they're pretty normal. Yeah. Same as women. Women at one time would never dreamt of having tattoos put on themselves. Skank's not a word that was ever really used up here, Jojo, but certainly slapper. I'm a slapper. Tattoos. So, lady here. I'd rather. I'm glad that my Laura doesn't have any, and she's never had any ambitions to have them. I've got an Indian ink tattoo on my back, says Budgie. It's meant, I take it you mean, It's meant to be a tree, but it looks more like a mushroom. Well, that's another thing no one should ever do. No matter how much you're in love, you don't know what is going to happen. Call it a death wish. Right, a wee video here. You'll probably have seen this, but I'll put it on anyway.
Laws which came into force yesterday under the Scottish Hate Crime Bill allow for jail sentences of up to 7 years to be imposed on those convicted of, quote, stirring up hatred against protected groups. Let's take a look. Sounds like a good bill, doesn't it? I mean, who doesn't hate crime? You'd have to be a really hateful person to hate a hate crime bill, wouldn't you? The only people who don't hate crimes are Nazis and children's fantasy authors, right? You know, of course, very difficult for a Guardian reading politically middle-of-the-road twat like me to have a pop at hate crime legislation, because if I do, all the Guardian reading politically middle-of-the-road twats like me will come out the woodwork and go, well, he just wants to go around punching trannies, doesn't he? You know, you suggest that this piece of law is fucking absurd, and people accuse you of wanting to spit at fat people when they're taking up too much space on the pavement. And yet, just the briefest of looks at the details of this new bill, you begin to see that it is, at best, massively ill-conceived, frighteningly vague, and therefore scarily open to abuse, utterly unworkable, and almost certainly unpoliceable, and at worst, an unthinkably draconian and insidious piece of legislation that attacks the civil liberties of anyone stepping foot across Hadrian's Wall who expresses an opinion that doesn't fit in the very narrow Overton's window of what so-called liberals would call acceptable. Under this law, you can go to prison for something you said privately in your own home. Someone else can hear what you said secondhand, then take offence at what they've heard you've said privately, and then report you to the police for something you said to someone else in private. And reporting it to the police is being openly encouraged by the government. And we're being told that these new laws are supposed to promote tolerance. And even if they decide that a crime hasn't taken place, it could still be recorded as a non-hate crime incident, which will go on your record and be available to potential employers without your knowledge. The extremely overworked police now investigating non-crimes. This is an absurd state of affairs. Humza Yosef assures us that these new laws aren't open to abuse, and then throws the police under a bus by saying it's up to them to decide how the law is enforced. And he himself has already been reported to the police for a hate crime under the very law he's just brought in, because the wording of this new law singles out young white men as the most likely perpetrators of hate crime, and singling out any ethnic group or indeed gender, which the wording of this law does, is against this law. So the wording of the law itself is committing its own crime. They really haven't thought this through, have they? Yeah. And Whilst we're told that comedy venues or theatres would not be specifically targeted by police, their training material says that public performances of a play is one of the ways abusive speech can be communicated, and it is possible for actors and directors to be found liable if certain protected groups find the performance offensive or inflammatory. Technically, an actor can be convicted of a hate crime for playing someone who incites hatred. Someone playing Hitler can now get done for being a Nazi. A straight actor playing a gay character could be deemed so offensive that they could conceivably get arrested. And if a comedian tells a joke that, heaven forbid, punches down, he could be facing 7 years in prison, which is the thin end of a very dull, boring wedge where all art is dead in favour of identity politics-based dogma, where people go to the theatre and comedy clubs, but there's nothing on, so you just have to sit there and discuss intersectional feminism whilst burning DVD copies of Brokeback Mountain. And of course, the police aren't going to target performers. They just have to wait for someone to complain about it, because there are hubs or official reporting centres where you can report these hate crimes. One of these hubs being a well-known sex shop in Glasgow. Just for your convenience, you can rat on your neighbours' unsavoury opinions about immigration whilst buying eye-wateringly abusive pornography. You can report Ricky Gervais for a hate crime whilst buying a dildo. It's a funny wee world we live in. That's my Scottish accent. Is doing a terrible Scottish accent a hate crime? Probably is now in Scotland, which I'm not. So fuck it. Here comes a Highland granny, great big tits and a hairy fanny. Thank you. Protecting vulnerable people from abuse is an essential role of government and the law, but
So there you go. I enjoyed that. Toffee is asking for a music request. What a waistcoat. Yeah. Well, if he's asking for a waist, I assume he's talking about this. You need to tell me if this is the song you're talking about, Toffee. I think this is the one that you're talking about. Wait a minute, hang on. Silly Billy, John. Right, here we go. Try again.
There once was a good time when we built all the great ships here. But that once time is our lost time now. That is our yesteryear. Sugar cane from Jamaica, put a sweet tooth in every mouth, and the cotton that once was spun here fine was gathered by planters of the South. Factory girls, topped with scarves, made the sugar, spun the bread, and the top men who made the great ships great were proud to call themselves bread. There once was a good time when we built all the great ships here. But that once time is our lost time now. That is our yesteryear. Raw tobacco from Virginia wandered next to ruby wine, moved by dirty puffing steam trains to factories on the line. Good old boys from Port Glasgow, Cooper barrels for the whiskey trade. All the world knew that the legend played. The best ships were always quite made. There once was a time when we built all the great ships here.
That ship was made
But that once time
and welded
is our
together.
lost time now. That is our yesteryear. But that once time is our lost time now. That is our yesteryear. But that once time is our lost time now. That is our yesteryear. But that once time is our lost time now. That is our yesteryear.
Well, one of these odd days, I'm going to have to look out that whole film for you, let you see it. Obviously, that's just a bit of an edit I did on a film, a longer film. It was a film that used to be shown to the children around here in schools, and 16 millimeter, and I saved it from falling into bits and pieces by converting it onto into DVD. My granddad used to sell fruit and veg from a barrow in the East End Docklands as a lad, 1920s, I guess. Would love to have seen it then. Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Toffee. It's a song that was meant to be part of an album project. But I never quite finished it. I moved on to other things. Well, thanks, folks. You see, the idea of that particular song and songs like it was to be street songs. Let me see if I can find one for you, so that you would have songs that would take you back to childhood. That was the idea. And I started writing them, and that was one of them. But as I say, it never really came to. I never got finishing it because I moved on to other things. And that is the story, really, of my life, moving on to other things. There it's there. Ah, like this. This is a good example. In fact, I think this is the one that started the whole idea. And I'll get it on for you. It's called, strange to say, it's called Street Song. Okay. Well, it's nice of you all to say that, and I'll need to do something about it because a few of you talked about this before. This is the first one that I wrote for this project. It's called, the song itself is called Street Songs. The album was to be called that.
Crash bang up the cobblestone, boys would kick old tin cans home. Slap, slap on the pavement stone, girls would skip it left alone. And I don't know what's going on. The streets sound empty, there's no street song. Girls and beavers, they once were king, gone like the children and the songs they would sing. Ring, clatter, scatter, it sure was fun. Hit that door and run, boy, run. Chestnuts in the autumn, tadpoles in the spring. Shout at the lassies you can't sing. And I don't know what's going on. The streets sound empty, there's no street song. Girls and beavers, they once were king, gone like the children and the songs they would sing.
There you go, folks. That was the first song in the series of songs. I like that. Yeah, it wasn't a Turkish barber. That's for sure, Anglo. I'll bet John's barber as a kid wasn't Turkish. No, believe it or not, it was my uncle. He had his own shop. In fact, there's a shop down in the centre of the town that bears his name still. Obviously, he's long gone, but members of the family have kept it going. Tommy McVeigh is the place is called. Thank you, Linda. That's a piece of nostalgia. I mean, there are a few songs. You see, things changed. I'd bought I'd bought this equipment, and I was happily recording these songs that I was writing, and then I would turn them into CDs, and I would take it as far as I could. But then CDs went out of fashion, and the machine ultimately broke down, and there is no one around here who knew how to fix it. And then the lockdowns, and just, and then I was talking about it one night. I don't know if, well, some of you will remember because some of you have been here long enough. Durst was very generous and kind and sent me up a 4-track recording machine. Exactly the same as the ones I had, except it was a smaller version. But I've got enough material. It's not as though I don't have enough material to put 10 on a stick, or when I say a stick, I mean one of these things, My brother, my barber, since I was a child, is called Margie, and she always smells of strong perfume and cheese and onion disco crisps. Love her, Margie. Haven't been to a barber since 1964. 2 and 6 it cost me. Gee. And I didn't even like it. Oh, God. I tell you. Well, here's one that you should all know, right, from childhood. All right. This doesn't last very long, so. This is just a straight recording, by the way, folks. So it's just me, the guitar, and the recording machine. And I'm making this up. I made this up as I went along, by the way. This is true.
Georgie, Porgy, pudding and pie kissed the girls and he made them cry. And when the girls came out to play, Georgie, Porgy ran away.
Of course, another one.
Will you come and play with me? We could play at hide and seek. If the girls girls come out to play, we can change to KKT.
There you go, folks. That's another one of these street songs. And that was exactly what it was meant to do, is bring back memories for people. No, all of this is recorded at home, Mr. Rodney. All of it was recorded at home. At one point, I had 32 track recording facilities here in the house. Anglos retweaked it a little bit there. Well, thank you very much. I'll take that compliment. Thank you. It means a lot. It does. It's not what I was looking for. I was looking for. If I could find it. Let me see. Let me see. There is it. Yeah, well, you've got that. This is another one, right? This is more straightforward, folks. This is a song. If I can get it over. Yeah. This is a song about me. So, this usually surprises people when they hear it. So anyway, enjoy. If I can get it to work. Why is that not working? Oh no, long song, John. All right, folks, I'm not finishing. Just means you're going to hear this twice. That was happened to the other one. That's not what I was trying to do. It has disappeared from view. Yeah, I've kind of messed it up here a bit, folks. Yeah, that's that. Now I can figure out where I am. We should have kept record players. Better sound qualities than CD. I know what you mean. I'm not going to argue on that one. See if I can get it again, wherever it is. Oh, there it is. Right, let's see if we can get it on. Now, as I said, this is about me.
Summer's in the air, laughter everywhere, queuing for a bus out of town. A long picnic day down Blunderson Bay, sea salt turning us light brown. I climbed up the trees and I ran down the breeze. I was simply a street playing boy.
I've screwed all this up, haven't I? I've screwed all this up. I'm going to have to take that away and put that up here. Are you still with me, folks? Tell me you're still with me. Let me know you're still there. I wouldn't like to think that I've lost you. Ah, you're still there, good. Right, I'll try one more time to get this up. Normally I don't have any bother. There you go. I don't know why that's happening. I think what I need to do is see, I don't want it over there. It's going on to my other screen, which is confusing things. New tab. That's us. Got it this time. Like I said, it's called Street Playing Boy.
Summer's in the air, laughter everywhere, queuing for a bus out of town. A long picnic day down Blunderson Bay, sea salt turning us light brown. I climbed up the trees and I ran down the breeze. I was street playing boy. Saturday matinee brought color to my grave. Movies that always came out right, where Chaplin was king, but Stan and Ollie could sing. Queuing for ices by torchlight. I wished it were me, but I never found a key. I'm simply a movie-struck boy. Endless street games, they all had their names. Trains that whistled up steam, Sunday church bells, bakery smells, tea cakes bursting out with cream. I like bread and jam, I got minnows in the lap. I'm simply a street playing boy. Spring was in the air, the trees were hanging bare. I was chilled by February rain. A 7-year-old fool tumbled in from school. I'd never be the same boy again. No, I don't think that I cried when my mom said my dad died. I was simply a street playing boy. No, I don't think that I cried when my mom said my dad died. I was simply a street playing boy. I give back all my toys, all the movie love toys, just to be a two-parent street boy.
So there you go. There you go. Well, I lost touch with that chap, Mr. Rodney. And he was a few years older than me, so he may well not be with us anymore. I have no idea what happened to him. I just lost touch. As you well know, these are the things that happen in life. People come into your life and they stay for a while and they seem to go. Would you go to prison now for gigging in one of those uniforms? Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. No question. No question whatsoever. Even if you were being satirical. Ah, there's Robert. Good evening, Robert. One of my old favourites, that join. Oh, someone bought me 2 coffees. How nice. How generous. Thank you very much for that. It's very nice. Appreciate that. if you were very serious about this music business, I could put tracks on one of these, but that would mean that you would need a computer or something that you can plug the, or perhaps a portable device. That would be something, wouldn't it? That would be something. Thanks very much, Trevor. But what I was going to say is, if I were to put tracks on this for you, right, I would need your real name and your postal address to send it to you. So think on that. Now, what likes a treble M there? That's really not a problem because I've got Treble M's real name and postal address because she's a party member. But outside of party members, I would need that information if you seriously wanted me to do this. And if you really seriously wanted me to do this, you can get a P.O. box, says Mr. Rodney. I've been down this avenue before. They're very expensive. A P.O. box are very expensive. That's why I don't have one. Because I'm not here trying to make money or make a living for myself. I've got an email, certainly. Yes, of course I've got an email. That's how you could, this is what would need to happen. It would be the way people have joined the party. That's the only way I can do it. What happens is, say I made one of these, right? What you would do is you would send me your information to my email address, and I would put one of these in an envelope and post it to you. And that's sort of how you join the party. It's easier with party because it's £5. So you buy a cup of coffee. That's your subscription for the year, and I send you the package with a party badge and a copy of the policies that we have at the moment. Now, that's not all the policies. It's some of the major ones, and I'm getting that transferred into a booklet. So this is how you would do it if you wanted, if you were serious about wanting the music. That's how it would need to be done. You take my you would send me an email with your real name and your real postal address. And if you wanted to pay for it, if you wanted to pay me money for the music, then we would have to agree. A postal order, yeah, that would be another way to do it. Treble M's done it that way. Postal order, if you want it. But I still need your name and address to send this to you. And we would have to agree on a price if you're insisting on buying it. Aye. And the other thing it occurs to me while I'm talking to you is, what if you want a particular track on there, like Toffee seems to like the whoa, the song I had on there, a lost time. Yeah, I know, Treble M. It's time to be closing up. I just want to set the record straight about this because you folks brought it up, not me. So if you've heard one of my tracks, like Robert saying it, he likes the Street Playing Boy, I could put on or make sure that that's on the thing that is going down to Robert. Think about it. If you really want that, I also liked the songs from the last live stream. Oh, right, Julia. That's a B side. It's that's a B side of a single. The Great Divide. That song's called. Yeah, that's what I mean. You see, you could make these requests, and I could put them on, specialize the actual thing for you. Think about it, and we can talk some more on it. And you can, as Hasdak saying, you could use a postal order if you wished. If you're unsure about the high tech buy me a coffee thing, if you're unsure about that, you could do that postal order, or if you operate a checkbook account. But as I say, I did inquire years ago about a PO box, and very, very expensive. Where can I get your email? Well, I'll put it up now if you want. I'm saying that. Where the hell is it? Ah, there it is. There it's there. It's Charlie Sheen, a National Socialist. I had no idea. Yeah, I know they're very expensive. You can get them for 6 months, but it's just as bad. It's very, very expensive. The only way I think I could make that viable is if I was on here trying to make money from you folk, and I'm not, as you all know. That's why I don't have a PO box. I mean, these badges that you get when you join the party cost more than the price of joining the party. Believe it or not, it's more expensive to buy one of these badges than it is to join the party. So I'll leave that there for you, so it's there. You can write to me about whatever, if you just want to write me an email about something or other, or if you really are interested in having one of these USB sticks, and I can put tracks on them, because I've got almost all of my music on this computer in one way or the other. Good God, somebody. Oh, it's Gavin. Gavin, thank you very much, Gavin. Thank you. Gavin just bought a coffee. Right, so it's 11 o'clock. So you've got my email. Right, so you've got it. Good man. You can always come back, when it goes up to the channel. If you still, if you need the address or whatever. But you've all been very generous. It's 3 coffees. I appreciate that, folks. And we'll get back to this. Don't let me forget about it. About the music thing. Okay. I like it. My grammar is crap, so you'll know it's me. Well, I was out in the air today, Julia. That's probably why. I was outside talking to my neighbours. So I'll bring on the outro music. Now this is a track that some of you might want, because I know it's pretty popular. Anyway, so take care, folks, as I always say. Now remember, on Friday we will have Scott's Armour. That should be interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I shall say, as always, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Friday, bye for now. And thanks all of you for being here. And thank you again for the generous donations. I appreciate that. Take care, folks. Bye just now. Enjoy the music.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides a fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together now.
But love's much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But an important glow
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, past the consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
all together now.
But we're much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But an important glow
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
again, folks. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you all on Friday, and we will have my good friend Scott's Armour with us. Until then, take care. And if you get good weather, enjoy it.